Welcome to Learning with UNP. In this session of Business Intelligence with Power BI, we will explore more advanced visualizations that help us analyze data in a deeper and more meaningful way. Power BI provides a wide range of advanced charts beyond basic bar and column charts. These charts help us identify patterns, trends, and relationships within our data, making it easier to draw valuable insights. In today's session, we will cover the following advanced charts: stacked area chart, 100% stacked area chart, line and stacked column chart, line and clustered column chart, and map chart. For this demonstration, we will use the Maven Market Dataset, which includes multiple tables such as Maven Market Transactions, Maven Market Stores, Maven Market Returns, Maven Market Regions, Maven Market Customers, and Maven Market Products. We will use columns from these tables to create insightful visualizations. So let's begin. Over here, let's create another page and name it Advanced Charts. Click on plus icon. Now, let's begin with the first chart, Stacked Area Chart. The third chart in the second row is Stacked Area Chart. Click on it. So, what is a stacked area chart? A stacked area chart is used to visualize trends over time while showing how different categories contribute to the total. Unlike a simple line chart or area chart, the area under the line is filled and stacked, making it easier to see the share of each category. Parameters of stacked area chart are x-axis. The x-axis typically represents time or another categorical dimension. Y-axis. The height of each area segment represents the value of a specific category or measure. Legend. It identifies different series or categories represented by the stacked areas. Now the question is, when do we use a stacked area chart? We use stacked area chart when we need to analyze trends over time, when we want to see how multiple categories contribute to the total, and when we are interested in seasonal patterns and category-wise distribution. For our example, imagine we want to look at the total quantity sold across different countries over time. Here is how we create a stacked area chart. Click on the chart. Drag date into x-axis. Drag total quantity sold onto y-axis. And drag store country onto legend. Let's expand the chart for better visibility. As we already discussed about drill up and drill down options, we can use them here. Let's click on drill down. Now we can see the total quantity sold by year and quarter. If I again click on drill down, we can see total quantity sold by year, quarter and month. Now we can see total quantity sold by year, quarter, month and day. We can also drill up. So this chart represents the total quantity sold over time with different countries stacked together. Over here, let's reduce the size of this chart. Now let's move on to the second chart, that is 100% stacked area chart. The fourth chart in the second row is 100% stacked area chart. Click on it. Okay, so what is a 100% stacked area chart? A 100% stacked area chart is similar to a stacked area chart, but focuses on the percentage contribution of each category instead of absolute values. This helps in understanding the relative share of different categories. Parameters used in 100% stacked area chart are: x-axis typically represents categories or time, allowing for trend analysis of percentage contributions. Y-axis always represents 0% to 100%, showing the percentage contribution of each category. So, when do we use a 100% stacked area chart? We use 100% stacked area chart when we want to compare relative contributions over time, when total values fluctuate, but we need to see the proportion of each category, and when we want to understand how market share or sales distribution evolves. Imagine, for our example, we want to see the sales contribution of each country over time. Here is how we create this chart. Select the chart, drag date onto x-axis, drag total quantity sold onto y-axis, drag store country onto legend. Let's expand the chart for better visibility. Let's use drill up and drill down options again. Drill down, drill up. So this chart represents the percentage contribution of each category that changes over time. Over here, let's reduce the size of this chart. Now let's move on to the third chart, that is line and stacked column chart. The fifth chart in the second row is line and stacked column chart. Click on the chart. So what is a line and stacked column chart? Line and stacked column chart is a combination of stacked column chart and a line chart. The columns show total values broken down by categories, while the line tracks a separate metric over time. Parameters used in line and stacked column chart are: x-axis represents categories or time periods such as months, quarters or product categories. Column y-axis displays the values for stacked columns representing measures like total sales or quantity. Line y-axis displays a line chart often used to show trends or rates such as profit percentages or growth rate. Column legend displays the names of the values that are stacked in the columns, allowing users to quickly understand which values are represented by each section of the stacked columns. So, when do we use a line and stacked column chart? We use line and stacked column chart when we want to compare two different metrics over time, when we need to track category-wise breakdown while analyzing overall trends, and when we want to correlate revenue growth with customer trends. Imagine we want to analyze whether revenue growth at Maven Market is due to more customers shopping or existing customers spending more per purchase. So this chart helps us by showing total revenue as stacked columns and unique customers as a line. Here is how we create this chart. Click on the chart. Drag date onto x-axis, drag total revenue onto column y-axis, and drag unique customers onto line y-axis. Let's expand the chart for better visibility, and we can use drill up and drill down options over here again. Drill down and drill up. So this chart helps us identify trends and make data-driven decisions about customer retention, pricing, and marketing strategies. Let's reduce the size of this chart and move it to this corner. Now let's move on to the fourth chart, that is line and clustered column chart. The sixth chart in the second row is line and clustered column chart. Click on the chart. So what is a line and clustered column chart? This chart is a combination of a clustered column chart and a line chart. Unlike the stacked version, the columns are not stacked but displayed separately for each category. The parameters of a line and clustered column chart are x-axis, typically represents categories or time periods. Column y-axis. This axis displays the values for the columns, that is bars, in the clustered column chart. It typically represents the quantity or value being measured for each category. Line y-axis. This axis is used to display the values for the line, allowing you to compare the line data with the column data on the same chart. It allows for visualizing two different types of data with potentially different scales on the same chart. Column legend. This element identifies which columns and lines represent which data series or categories, helping the viewer understand the chart's meaning. Okay, now the question is, when do we use a line and clustered column chart? We use a line and clustered column chart when we want to compare individual category values rather than stacked totals. When we need to track the relationship between profit and customer engagement, and when we want to analyze patterns in financial performance over time. For our example, imagine we want to analyze whether profit growth is driven by more customers or better margins. This is where a line and clustered column chart helps us. Here is how we create it. Click on the chart, drag date onto x-axis, drag total profit onto column y-axis, and drag unique customers onto line y-axis. Let's expand the chart for better visibility. Let's use drill up and drill down options. Let's drill down now. Let's drill up again. So, from this chart, we can determine whether profit growth is due to increased sales volume, higher spending per customer, or improved profit margins. Let's reduce the size of this chart. Let's create another page for map chart. Click on plus icon. Let's name this page as advanced charts. Now, let's move on to the last chart, that is map chart. The second chart in the fourth row is a map chart. Click on it. So, what is a map chart? A map chart is a geographic visualization that helps us analyze data across different locations. It plots data points on a map and adjusts the size of the bubbles based on a selected measure. The parameters of a map chart are location, a field containing geographic data such as country, state, city, postal code, or latitude, longitude, coordinates. Legend, it is used to explain the colors and symbols used in the map. Bubble size, it is a field containing the data you want to visualize on the map. Now the question is, when do we use a map chart? We use a map chart when we need to analyze geographic data, when we want to compare performance across different locations, and when we need to identify regional trends and opportunities. For our example, imagine we want to identify which cities generate the most profit. We can use a map chart where larger bubbles indicate higher profits. Here is how we can create it. Click on the chart, drag customer city onto the location, and drag total profit onto bubble size. Let's increase the chart for better visibility. We can also change bubble size and bubble color using the options available in Format Your Visual option. Let's change and check. Go to Format Your Visual. Click on Bubbles. You can increase or decrease the size of the bubbles. And you can also change the colors. Let's change the color from blue to green. If you hover on any bubble, you will see the value of total profit from that particular customer city. We can see that larger bubbles indicating cities with higher profits. And this chart helps us analyze regional profitability, detect underperforming areas, and optimize pricing or cost strategies. Control is to save the changes. Finally, by using these advanced charts in the Maven Market Dataset, we can uncover meaningful insights that aid in decision making. This is all about today's lecture. See you in the next lecture. Thank you.